Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
Hey guys, what is up? PI Podcast here. Finally back after a while.
It's been a long time.
For you guys watching this after the podcast, after the live. Yeah, it's been such a long time. Well, we are back for good, hopefully. Until we die. But yeah. What's up, Machine? I see you. Good morning to you. Yeah, game's about to start. Go Steelers, yeah. Steelers, hopefully.
They play the Jets. They should be able
to win if Mitch Trubisky doesn't struggle.
Yeah.
The Steelers can.
All right, because there's a, 9:30, 10 o'clock game, something like that, we're going to try to get through as much as we can because I know you're probably going to go watch a football game. Wait, is it already kicked off?
9:30 is kicked off.
Oh, I thought they kicked it off already. Okay, well, anyway, first game, Vikings Saints in London.
I'm taking the Vikings here. The James has struggled. He's out. So Andy Dalton's starting. Andy Dalton could play better than James Winston. Also, Alvin Kamara's out. Mark Ingram, he's not the starter he was anymore. He's not going to be able to carry that Saints team to a victory. I just like Vikings receivers, their defense, everything about them.
Yeah, I think this is a statement game for the Vikings. They've struggled kind of offensively, and we didn't think they would. Justin Jefferson's been kind of locked down these past couple weeks. He was completely locked down against the Eagles. Darius Slay had his number.
Also,
Kirk Cousins struggled too. He was not. He didn't look like Kirk Cousins that we've known because Kirk Cousins was very safe with the football, and he was literally forcing it to Justin Jefferson when he really shouldn't have.
Like Washington Kirk.
Yeah, he went back in time. I don't know, but that's how we earned on the contract. So maybe that's a good thing. But I've got the Vikings here as well. Kevin O'Connell, I think, is going to create mismatches for Justin Jefferson, especially because I think he's getting kind of under the hot seat. Not to a point where he's got to worry about his job, but we expected better from the offense for Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson out of Thielen. We expected better.
Kirk Cousins is not your over-the-top, spectacular superstar quarterback. You won't see it. But last year he did play well enough, not saying that he's the best part of his team, but he played well enough last year. But this year we've seen already a game where he looked like the old Kirk, and that's a problem with Kirk throughout most of his career. He's either going to have good games or bad games. And it's already trending this way, but I think he'll be able to step back against the Saints defense that's allowed plenty of points to all the teams they played against.
Vikings, Saints, do you think it's going to be a blowout, or do you think it's going to be a really close game?
I think if the Saints defense can play well enough, like they're supposed to be on paper, I think it might be a touchdown, 10-point game, but right now it's looking like Vikings are going to take it by 10.
I like it. Again, Alvin Kamara is out. Michael Thomas is out. Jarvis Landry will play, but he's also hurt. So the Saints are battling a good bit of injuries, and as you know, Dalvin Cook's going to play today. So that, run the offense through him. You don't got to do anything special. You're playing Andy Dalton.
I don't like those black helmets either. It was ugly as hell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys might be able to see through the reflection, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think Andy Dalton can come in, and if he can be a game manager in the Saints defense, the thing for the Saints to win, they have to keep their offense on the field. They can't keep the defense out on the field the whole game. They've got to produce.
They got to stop struggling on offense too.
Exactly. There's got to be some movement on the ball.
And if Andy Dalton can look good today and get a W, there's going to be some questions if Andy Dalton should be the starter.
All right, so then we got the Seahawks and the Lions to kick off 1 p.m. football. Eastern time football, I should say, because everybody watches them somewhere different. But Seahawks Lions, I actually think this is going to be a good game. I think Geno Smith has proven he can be a starting quarterback. He was my biggest question mark coming into this year. He's proved me wrong. But this Lions defense has gotten pressure on the quarterback a lot, so that's going to be a key to victory for the Lions, is to produce pressure on Geno Smith. And, you know, this offense without DeAndre Swift is going to look a little different. DeAndre Swift is out today. But Jared Goff, Jamal Williams was already looking like a good back, though. They're two completely different style of backs, but you can win football games with a running back like Jamal Williams.
Yeah. And the Seahawks, Geno Smith can play well. Like, we've seen it for the first 3 games. He can lead his team if he needs to. On the other side, the Lions, their defense, I think they're allowed some of the most points in the NFL.
Yeah.
They've been allowing a lot of points. Their pass defense isn't amazing. So that's the only thing to look about, which gives the Seahawks more of an opportunity because they do have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Eventually, they're going to have their breakout games, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. But I do have the Lions winning this game. I think their offense is looking good. I think Jared Goff is playing very well this year.
The Lions are very good at running the football. I think there was a graph that says they're running for over 5 yards per carry between DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams.
That's great.
And they're a ground and pound team, you know, and it's going to hurt Amon-Ra St. Brown being out, but like I said, they have enough weapons on the outside. Jameson Williams, they've got DJ Chark, they've got
DJ Chark's out today.
Oh, DJ Chark's out too. I didn't know that.
They don't have Jameson Williams. He's still out.
They have Pigby, so I guess they have to run with football.
Yeah, they only have Josh Reynolds and Khalif Raymond today.
Which Seattle struggled last week against the run. They allowed some really big. I mean, Cordell Patterson.
Eddie, how's it going, Eddie?
You know, it's gonna try to time out. But I don't know how to.
I use it.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, this Lions team is gonna have an uphill battle not having Amon-Ra St. Brown or DJ Chark. I didn't know DJ Chark was out, so that's news. But I mean, the Lions have looked good this year. I mean, they haven't looked great, but they've looked good. I mean,
they were supposed to meet the Vikings last week. They kind of fell late to the Vikings. Let them come back with 13 points. But they were supposed to win that game. They could be easily been 2-1 right now.
Yeah. I also have the Lions, but I think it's going to be a close game. If anything, the Lions have a chance to blow it out, but I don't think there's a big chance the Seahawks win today.
Pete Carroll's got the rebuilding defense looking better than I think
we thought. People. Yeah. And then let's see, the next game is Jets Steelers. All right, Machine, if you're still in here. Zach Wilson's making his first appearance in the 2022 NFL season. That's going to be exciting to watch. Steelers, I mean, they've just got to do better on offense. Their offense is terrible. And there's really no reason for it. They have Najee Harris. They have one of the better backfields in the NFL. They have solid backups at running back. They have a very good wide receiver room. Offensive line is definitely shaky, which I don't know. I'm not putting all the blame on the offensive line because Mitchell Trubisky needs to play better. Their offensive coordinator needs to scheme people open. There was a report 2 weeks ago, I think, that Mitchell Trubisky is not allowed to audible at the line of scrimmage. That's crazy. Yeah. Like, he's a veteran quarterback. You've got to put some trust in him. And that could be why this team's not looking that great. You've got a quarterback that can't change the look on offense when he's seeing what's in front of him. Like, that's not you can't do that. But, again, the Steelers are the best defense in the NFL when healthy.
Yeah, and the only thing about the Steelers, if their offense can get on point, it can help the defense out a lot, too. Without TJ Watt, the Steelers, actually, their pass rush has diminished a lot.
Yeah.
And that was one of the strong points that we saw week 1. was their pass rush being dominant, but they're not as dominant as they were week 1 because of TJ Watt being gone. They just need to find their rhythm without TJ Watt, being able to push the quarterback even more, making sure they play good defense, because I think they could play good defense without TJ Watt. And the Jets, I've been watching games on NFL Plus after the weekend, and the Jets, they can play good defense. Just the win against the Browns, coming back 2 touchdowns, that was insane. But the big thing about that was their defense was matching the Browns' offense every time. Joe Flacco and that offense was matching them almost every time until the late fourth quarter. I have the
Steelers.
Tough
I
here.
have the Steelers.
I'm gonna go Steelers, but the Jets play good enough defense to where if Mitchell Trubisky struggles, they might be able to take away this game. Not by a lot or anything, but they'll be able to win.
So the Steelers have to keep the ball on offense, and they have to drive down the field. They can't not score on every drive, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. They have to stay on the field long enough to give their defense a break. If they do that, the Steelers will win. However, the Jets' offense, to me, way better than last year. And, granted, it was Joe Flacco instead of Zach Wilson, but Joe Flacco, he's not anything special. So it's got me thinking when Zach Wilson comes in, I think he's going to make a lot of mistakes today. It's a tough defense. Zach Wilson's technically still in his rookie year. He didn't play much last year. He did play quite a few games, but nowhere near as much as Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or that's really it, right? Mac Jones, sorry. Because Trey Lance sat all last year. And Davis Mills, too, got more reps than Zach Wilson did last year. So Zach Wilson's going to have those mistakes, but the offense is already kind of clicking. So hopefully he can come in there. But that's the only way they'll win is if Zach Wilson can come in and kind of pick up where Joe Flacco left off. Because Joe Flacco was having a decent couple games.
Yeah, they're playing well, but he was obviously just some mistakes you wouldn't see from a veteran. He's overthrowing people. He was missing throws that were very easily wideable him. But yeah.
The next game is Bears-Giants. I also think this one has the potential to be another good game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. Obviously, we've all seen the stats. Everybody's crucifying Justin Fields right now, which he also has been struggling with a brand new head coach, a new offense without very many pieces on it. The Giants, on the other hand, to me, Daniel Jones is having a career here. I think Daniel Jones looks good. That interior offensive line, terrible. I mean, that needs to be completely revamped. The 2 tackles are good, but their interior offensive line is not giving Daniel Jones a lot of time. Plus, with the injuries and the drop passes for the Giants receivers, they haven't looked very good. But Daniel Jones, to me, has looked good. The Daniel Jones hate this year is not warranted, in my opinion. He's protected the football better. He looks better. He's making better passes. He's athletic. Brian DeBall has changed Daniel Jones, but like I said, that team's just not very good.
Yeah. The Giants, as you saw Monday night, they couldn't protect Daniel Jones' saved life. And they were still in that game for almost 4 straight quarters, almost throughout the whole game. If the Giants were able to protect Daniel Jones, they would have won that game. Also, the Bears, Justin Fields, he has probably the least amount of passing yards in the NFL right now, or one of the.
No, he's got the least amount since 1970 through.
Games. Oh yeah, exactly. So Justin Fields hasn't been throwing much. He said it himself. He struggled and he wasn't playing good. We'll see what he can do. I think from watching him throughout all these first 3 weeks, I think he's overthinking everything. I just see some of his throws and he's just kind of nervous. He's kind of unhinged a little bit. I think he's just overthinking too much. I like the Giants here in a close one because the Bears defense is good enough. They can put pressure on Daniel Jones if that line doesn't play well again. They can really get to him. So I'm taking the Giants here.
I'm taking the Giants here as well because even though last week they didn't look that great, the Cowboys pass rush is one of the best in the NFL. Yeah, the Bears pass rush is nowhere near what they face with the Cowboys. So I think the Giants will come back. I think they'll score 25, 30 points. I've got the Giants winning this one as well. Then we'll go to the Titans and Colts. Another good game, I think. Both teams kind of struggled early on, but they, last week beat two very good opponents in the Chiefs. Well, the Raiders aren't very good, but, they beat the AFC West, was supposed to be the best team in the NFL, or best division in the NFL. So this is one to watch. Titans, I mean, they got to get Derrick Henry moving. And then the Colts, they've got to settle down. In my opinion, they have not utilized Jonathan Taylor enough at all. I said it before. You bring Matt Ryan in, you shouldn't have changed the offense. It should have pretty much stayed the same, where you're running the ball with Jonathan Taylor and making Matt Ryan throw the ball 20 to 25 times a game. But him throwing for almost 400 yards week one, he shouldn't be throwing. There's no reason when you have Jonathan Taylor to be throwing the ball that much, especially when they have so many injuries at wide receiver this year. Alec Pierce was down, Michael Pittman was down. Like, there's no reason to throw the ball that much. But that's what they've been doing, and it hasn't been working. But it did work against the Chiefs. So,
yeah, the only thing is the defenses during Colts games, they've been able to shut down Jonathan Taylor. Like, they've been running him first down, second down, but he was only get 2 yards a carry. I mean, there's nothing really you can do if you're running back. You're supposedly one of the best running backs, only getting that much yardage. So they were forced to pass it, but also that offense is struggling with Matt Ryan at the helm. And the only way they're going to be able, it was a very good team game against the Chiefs. Like, that's always a hard team to play. And the fact they even won that game is crazy. This is going to be a close game. I think the Titans are good. I think they will bounce back. I think both these teams are in like kind of this weird bubble where they haven't had the best starts, but they can easily claw their way back in that division. This is going to be a toss-up. I think it'll be a very close game. I think if Matt Ryan can get the offense going, if Jonathan Taylor can play well, if the Titans defense doesn't try to shut him down, I think the Colts will win this game.
I have the Colts winning this game as well. Which is not, I'd prefer the Colts to win, because I think that tie is going to screw the Colts at the end of the year, that they had to the Texans. I really think that has potential to really screw the Colts at the end of the year. But I have the Colts winning this one. I just think the Colts have, even though they've struggled, I still think the Colts have looked better defensively than the Titans have looked defensively. And like I said, this Colts team plays Derrick Henry twice a year every year. So I think they know how to defend him. And if you make Ryan Tannehill beat you, they should be able to win this game. So I have the Colts winning. The next game is the Chargers versus Texans. And I have a bold prediction for this. If any team has a chance to be the underdog, to me it's the Texans. The Chargers are extremely injured right now. Justin Herbert, obviously, last week against the Jaguars, played like Dookie. Keenan Allen's out. Joey Bosa's probably out. Their left tackle's out for the rest of the season. They haven't figured out how to get Austin Eckler the ball. I don't see a way the Chargers can beat this Texans defense. This Texans defense has been legit. The offense, kind of mediocre, but I mean, that was the Texans are playing better than I thought they would. Yeah, and they haven't won a game. Yeah.
Lovie Smith has his defense playing very well for the Texans. I mean, they got a lot of veterans on that defense, but also like other players like Jalen Petray's been playing well. Derek Stingley's been playing decent as well, the rookie corner. There's a lot of pieces they have that have been playing better than most people expect them to. The only thing about the Texans, their offense, David Mills has looked okay, but hasn't been any better than that. He's just okay. He's consistently missing throws that some second-year quarterback he needs to at least make improvements on. But he's been missing throws. He's been able to lead this offense somewhat, but also he's been struggling on first and second down on early downs. The Chargers, they took a tough loss last week. Justin Herbert, obviously that rib injury, I guess it didn't matter last week because he threw like 50 yards off his back foot. But he should be better this week. I'm taking Chargers here because that Texans offense is just a little worrisome, especially because Davis Mills hasn't been getting anything going.
J.C. Jackson might be out too.
Yeah.
I have the Chargers winning this one, but if there was an upset game, this is the upset game, I think. If you're a bettor and you want to take the gamble, betting on the Texans would be the gamble that would probably pay off out of all these games. Browns at Falcons. This is going to be a pretty good matchup.
Now, the Falcons allowed a decent amount of rushing yards last week to Rashad Penny. Early on, Rashad Penny was running down the Falcons' throat, but things kind of hunkered down third, fourth quarter. The Patriots started coming alive, as you saw in the Saints game from the Falcons. Marcus Mariota, that offense looks very, very good. They've cut 24-plus points every game this year. So their offense is high-flying offense, and they can score at will whenever they want to. They just got to convert in the end zone. Stupid mistakes, got to get rid of the fumbles, interceptions. The Browns are going to be relying, obviously, on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, their running game. That's what they've been doing. But Jacoby Brissett's also been doing his job. And playing extremely well in that offense because he has every help he needs with the best running back duo in the league. The Browns are going to I think the Browns are going to have a little more trouble than usual running the ball because I think the Falcons defense can kind of limit Nick Chubb. And week 1, they limited Kamara. Week 2, they limited that running back as well. They let Rashad Penny run all of them early, but they kind of shut him down towards the end. I got the Falcons here in a close one. I think if we contain Nick Chubb, and the offense just keeps scoring, we can win this game.
I like the Falcons in this one too. I think this is going to come down to the wire, though. I don't think this is going to be I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think either team's going to blow the other one out. I don't think that's possible. I think both offenses are going to be moving. The Falcons have been very good on offense. They've struggled a little bit on defense, which I think the Browns have a chance, like where they lack in talent, they'll be able to make up because of the struggles the Falcons have had on defense with the big plays. And but you were saying the Falcons still have not allowed a 40-plus yard touchdown.
Yep. Over a year and a half.
That's crazy because like when you watch the highlights of the Seattle Seahawks game, Rashad Penny broke off like quite a few times for like 10-plus yard rushes. That's why I'm worried about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, like you said. But I think the Falcons' offense is high-powered enough to make up for the defenses where the defense lacks. Because the Falcons, like you said, can score whatever. They've got a good kicker, so they only have to get the ball to the 40 on the other side, and then they've got guaranteed points pretty much. So I've got the Falcons winning this one in a very close game. I think this will come down to the final minutes.
Let's go with some quick fire picks. We'll talk about Jaguars Eagles game. We'll go to last and talk about it.
Yeah, we got Commanders, Cowboys. I've got the Cowboys winning this one.
Yeah, Cowboys too.
The pass rush is too good, and Carson Wentz has really struggled when the rushes hit.
Cooper Rush is undefeated at the start.
I almost started him in the lineup too. Bills Ravens. This one's gonna be a good one.
This is a toss-up right here. It's probably the best game of the week, right?
Yeah,
one of the best games.
I'm gonna go Ravens here because of how beat up the Bills secondary is.
Lamar Jackson is an early MVP candidate, but I'm going to go Bills. I think every time I see the Bills, even in Dolphins game, I just watched that game last night. They were moving on the field whenever they wanted. Josh Allen throwing perfect bombs, perfect dimes. I don't know. It's hard to beat them. They got beat just because met Josh Allen, some mistakes at the end. They missed the field goal at the end, but I got the Bills here.
Cardinals, Panthers. I've got the Cardinals.
I've got the Cardinals here, but if Baker needs to get this offense alive.
Yeah. If that offense can start moving, the Panthers have potential. But they haven't been able to do it yet, so I'm not going to vouch for it. I'm going with the Cardinals on this. Broncos, Raiders. I'm going with Broncos here. The Raiders haven't looked very good, but I do think that's going to snap eventually, but I don't think it's going to be today.
I'm gonna go Raiders. I think it's the better now time than to start clicking and get rolling because if Raiders are going to go 0-4, it's just going to be too tough.
Yeah.
Too tough to come back.
And
That's a hole. 0-4 is a hole. 0-2 was a hole, but 0-4 is a way deeper hole.
Yeah. You know how I feel about the Broncos. I think they're not what they were hyped up to be in the slightest. And I was saying that when they signed Russell Wilson. But I think the Broncos are clicking a little bit more than the Raiders are, which is why I like the Broncos. But this is a toss-up game. This is not one I would bet on. I would not bet on this game because it could go either way.
The Broncos offense, I think it's taking a little more time to get Russell Wilson and Courtland Sutton and all them to working together. I think they're going to be able to do it, and they're going to be able to score a lot when they do get everything worked together. But right now, I think the Raiders are desperate, and they're going to be desperate today.
Then we got Patriots-Packers. I think the Packers are going to win this, and I think it's not going to be very pretty.
Yeah. I got Packers.
Patriots are without Mac Jones. Brian Hoyer, I think, is a good game manager, but I don't think he's going to do anything special. He's been in that offense for a very long time, so it's not going to be like throwing a scrub in there. Brian Hoyer's going to be able to do his job, but that team's just not very talented right now. So I've got the Packers in a landslide. Chiefs-Buccaneers, another good game, but I think the Bucs are too hurt.
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers, the offense is set them up dominant, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I got the Chiefs here.
I've got the Chiefs in this one too. They lost last week. I think they're going to bounce back. I can't count on one hand how many times I've seen Patrick Mahomes lose back-to-back games. So
same with Tom Brady.
Well, yeah.
Both basically have the same record in after losses.
But the Chiefs they're playing more balanced football than they have in the past. Their defense hasn't looked bad. Their defense looks better this year than it did last year, but their offense doesn't look as good as last year. But that's a good sacrifice. You know, your offense went from here, your defense was here, and now you're more like here. So that was a good sacrifice for them because in the past couple Super Bowls you've seen, or the past playoff runs, I should say, the Chiefs lacked on defense and it really hurt them. So they've gotten a little bit better on defense. Hopefully that will help them in the future. And then we got the Rams versus 49ers Monday Night Football. Who do you got in this one?
I got the 49ers here. I think their defense can play well enough, and I'm not convinced out of all the games we've seen from the Rams, like the first 3 weeks, I don't see them beat them. They're not a dominant team anymore. They can score, with Cooper Kupp and everybody, but I just don't. Matt Stafford's turned the ball over way too much. Even though they're winning, he just turned the ball over way too much. And against his defense, if you do that, it's gonna hurt.
I do have the Rams because I don't think the 49ers are going to click yet with Jimmy G. I do understand he's been in the offense, but they changed the offense to Trey Lance. Now they have to try to go back to what they had with Jimmy G. So I think it might take another week, but I get the Rams in this one. It's always a fun matchup, Rams 49ers. So last game we're going to talk about is the 1 p.m. game between the Jaguars and Eagles. I'm a Jags fan. The Jags are his second team. And then Philly, or Eddie's team is Philly. This one's going to be the game of the week, I think. I thought, well, you said the Bills-Ravens game would be. I think it's going to be the Jags-Eagles, only because these teams have so much potential. Like, we know what the potential is with the Bills and Ravens. They're both they have their powerhouses. But this Jaguars versus Eagles game, the Eagles are trying to make a name for themselves. The Jaguars are trying to get rid of all that bad history. Doug Peterson came in. I have the Eagles winning this game, unfortunately. But I do think the Jags have a chance to win this.
If the Jags defense can play like they've been playing, they easily have a chance. I saw the stat. He's like 50% completion, Jalen Hurts, against the pressure. So if Jaguars put pressure, they can win. I got to pick the Eagles, though. Also, every time I pick against the Jags, they've won. And when I pick the Jags, they lost. I'm picking against the Jags here. I'm going Eagles. But it's gonna put the Eagles to the test, especially if the Jags pass rush can get to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
The Eagles do have very good offensive line, so it's gonna be tough. But if Jags can get that pass rush, we're gonna see what that team's made of the Eagles.
The one thing I'll say about the Jaguars, they've been relatively healthy.
They've been the most healthiest team in the league.
They've been. Zay Jones is questionable, but he is expected to play. Shaquille Griffin was out last week. He was a limited participation in practice this week, so I think he'll play. And then other than that, 2 of our backups are out. I'll take that. So we're relatively healthy. I think the Eagles are relatively healthy too, though. I don't think they really have anybody that's like out.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty healthy.
Yeah, so that's going to be something to look at as well. Yeah, I do think the Jags have potential to win this game, but this is going to be a very tough matchup. I do like this game, though, because if we keep it competitive or if we win, there's no reason the Jaguars should be in the top 5.
Yeah.
There's no reason. The one loss, and they should have won, they should be undefeated right now. But if they beat the Eagles, who are the top 3 and everybody's leaderboards right now,
I'm putting them in the top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I put them in the top 5.
I would put them in the top 10. If it was as a Jags fan, though, so I'm a little biased, but 7 or 8, that's
you'd have to put them in the top 10.
Yeah, and I don't think 10. I think 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I would be happy with 7 or 8. I think they should be 5, but because it's like out of all the teams we've listed, I would take the Bills over the Jags. I would take the Ravens over the Jags. I would take the Packers over the Jags. I would take Chiefs over the Jags. Buccaneers are a question mark for me.
Buccaneers are a question mark, especially but it's Tom Brady. That's the only.
Rams 49ers, I would maybe take the Rams or the 49ers over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it though.
Yeah, Dolphins maybe.
Top 10, yeah.
So definitely like 7 or 8 mark would be very fair if the Jags win. Yeah, so thank you guys. If anybody's watching and they want to comment something we want to talk about real quick, we can. The kickoff is about to happen. They got Mark Sanchez on there.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching our week 4 kickoff pregame special kind of thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. We are going to be back more often now.
Yeah,
I think we're finally back from all our vacations and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be back. Make sure we'll let you guys know our schedule. I think we might change the schedule up a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
So we'll let you guys know our new schedule. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed football today. It's gonna be a good one. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.